The Centers for Disease Control says 1 in 88 American children are identified with a form of autism. There are a number of conditions that fall along the autism spectrum. Many are high-functioning scholars. We discuss life with Aspergers syndrome on Newsmakers. There are people who we all know in life who are lacking in social skills, and we usually just let it go at that. Now, what if those people also have trouble with literal thinking, are diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder, sensory integration disorder, and hyperlexia, and they also struggle with anxiety and math dyslexia? Those are the conditions our guest, Professor Leanne Holliday-Willey, has faced since a very early age. She's here to tell us about her Asperger syndrome diagnosis and how she's managed to navigate a fulfilling life.
Hi.
Hi. Wow, what a list. And at a very early age, there were some signs. And as a kid, you don't really know, right?
No, you don't. And I'm 52. So when I was growing up, we didn't have words for someone like me. There was no diagnosis called Asperger's syndrome. Autism is what Asperger's syndrome is related to, but clearly I wasn't autistic. I was verbal. I could do things. I could go out in public. I mean, the thought was that I was a precocious only child.
And isn't that a good thing, to be the only child?
To my parents, I was God's gift. So anything that came their way that said this child is without or is disabled or is different or is malfunctioned, it just went in one ear and out the other. It was the education system's fault, not mine.
When Americans hear, just society, if you just asked people on the street, tell me what autism means to you, just to hear that word. What do you think the answer is typically?
I think the preconceived notion is still something akin to Rain Man. I think that's changing, and we're showing great strides in our media and our social awareness. But I think people still think it's a very disabled individual who's maybe bound for a group home and a lot of intervention throughout the lifetime. And while there is some truth to that, we now know that there are gazillions of us that get far and above beyond the box we were put in as kids or even as young adults.
And as a kid, it's tough too, you know, because there's this segregation that takes place where you have, well, you're the special needs kid, so you go on this bus, right? But you don't feel that way. You're pointing at the other bus saying, why aren't I with the
That's
other
exactly
kid?
true. And as a child, that was true for me. I wasn't on the special bus, so I was integrated fully with the other children. And so I was sort of the unique, different, eccentric, well, her parents are kind of weird child, and lots of other things. But as far as the children were concerned, that's who I was, the different one, the silly one, the one that would do the crazy stuff, the one you could put up to anything and she would go try it, jump off the roof, lick the battery, you know, the silly stuff. So I was sort of everyone's pet clown. But I think today our goal is to integrate the kids so that they aren't any longer on the special bus, so that no child's on the special bus. Inside, though, yes, we do feel we're on the outside looking in.
You're talking about being with the other kids and being the one to do the silly stuff and to kind of stand out. Your first book, the big seller, is Pretending to be Normal.
Right.
Is that where you got the title from, because of those things that you did? I mean, are you pretending?
Well, absolutely. Like, this isn't my normal personality. This is my stage personality. You know, this is who I practice to be in front of people. But at home, I'm in jammies. I have no sounds, no sensory information coming into me at all. I sit in the corner of my chair, or I go out to the barn to play with the horses that I own. I mean, I have a whole different life. It's a life devoid of sensory information other than animals, and it's a life where I don't engage, I don't have conversations. This is my public persona that I can put on. The issue is, it's extremely exhausting to constantly be aware of, are you making the right eye contact? Are you understanding Patrick correctly? Are you making any social goof-ahs? Are you being what the public would perceive you to be without pointing fingers and saying, who's that chick?
But in a sense, you're acting. Is it painful to do this?
Well, I have a few degrees in acting, so it's fun for me to act, you know, but for someone who doesn't enjoy acting, it's extremely painful. What my father did was simply go to work, do his job, and then come home and be normal, which his normal is my normal, which is not the world's normal. He put on engineer voice, engineer land, engineer acting. Mine is more engaging, aren't I, bubbly acting. So I chose this personality and dove into it. Lots of people that are actors and actresses know how to do this well. And then they'll say to you, well, I'm really shy at home. And then I wonder, are you shy or are you like me? You know, you have a different personality. I like acting, so it's okay. But your point is, at the end of the day, I am literally exhausted and overwhelmed. My shoulders are tight, my stomach hurts. What we have to do is use our cognition and our intellect to figure out our next move. It doesn't come innately.
And not everybody has the same skill set that you do.
Correct.
That operates with the same condition.
Correct.
So how do they cope and deal?
Well, we try to teach them from an early age that you have to learn to study language, study nonverbal communications, study human beings like a kid would study calculus. It's a difficult AP course for us to study humanity and socializing, but we're smart. We can get it, but it's memorized learning. It's never natural. It's always application, never just waking up and doing it.
You've been married for how many years?
25.
Okay, well, let's just think about that process, right?
Right.
You meet somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you present yourself to be when you met
Initially,
Mr.
I learned all I could about him. Some might call that stalking. And I became, he liked softball, I loved softball. He lived in Houston, Texas, I lived in St. Louis, Missouri. I learned everything I could about Houston, Texas and told him how much I loved it. And he said, well, if you like it so much, why don't you live here? He was being facetious. I moved there a week later and found a home within 3 miles of his and just showed up on my jogging path until he finally said, what are you doing here? It turns out he is a professor on campus here at Grand Valley, so I don't want to say too much, but he has a lot in common with me. I'll say that much.
So when did you finally make the reveal?
The reveal, I didn't make the reveal, but after about 2 weeks of being with me, he said, you're really weird. And at that point, I started, and I didn't have a diagnosis then, so at that point, I started pulling back and became pretend girlfriend. I only talked about him. Well, that works for the male ego. I learned that early on.
But in every relationship, we find out later that everyone's a little weird.
So the big
right?
reveal, like when did I say I have Asperger's syndrome?
Oh.
He found out the same time I did. When our daughter was being diagnosed, we were behind the two-way mirrors. And I was watching my daughter and I said, I don't think she has Asperger's syndrome because everything she's saying and everything she's answering is the right answer. What is it going to be with her? And he looked at me with just a little bit of, not of sadness, I have to be honest, a little bit of sadness. And he said, she's answering everything wrong. She has what you have and what your dad has. I think it's Asperger's syndrome. And then sure enough, after she was diagnosed, I was formally diagnosed and so was my dad. So at 35, he knew my weirdness was not just because I'm a Yankee and he's a Southern boy, not just because I'm type A. I have a real neurobiological difference that makes me the way I am.
And your father, in this book, Scholars with Autism, Achieving Dreams, you're a contributor in this book.
Correct.
And you tell the stories of your adolescence, your very young life, really. I mean, you go back to 4 years old here.
Right. That's when intervention began.
Right. Talk about what it was, because your dad's a pillar in this book, and you love your father just so much. You have a lot in common with him. But let's just go back to the signs and what you were dealing with at a very early age.
Well, my father was sent to a psychiatrist because he was in top security during Vietnam at McDonnell Douglas, and they kept saying, something's weird about this guy. To keep his top security, he needs to be checked out. And the psychiatrist checked him out and said, this man's just brilliant. He's, you know, forgive him for not being socially adept and for being literal, et cetera, but he's getting the job done at Mac. And so then they brought me to the same psychiatrist, and he said to my mom, I don't know what we have going on here, but they're two peas in a pod. I suggest you let them raise each other. And in fact, that's what my mother did. She kind of pulled away and protected us, but let my dad be in charge of teaching me. And he would say, look, this is how humans are. This is what they think. This is what they do. Let's go watch them. And we would go to the airport and watch humans. And seriously, through the scientific method, problem solve humanity. And we read books and the encyclopedias on what do they mean when they cross their hands and do this? What do they mean when they lean in? Do they mean, oh my, why are they doing that? And we analyzed humans literally on a daily basis.
How old are you when you're doing this?
As long as I can remember. Okay. Up until the day my father died 2 years ago, we did it every day. We would call each other and say, did you watch C-SPAN? Why was that guy arching his eyebrow like that? Well, I don't know. It could have been A, B, C, D, E. Which do you think? And it was always, I'm still never sure. I don't know your expression now.
Yeah, it's a real fixation that
you're
having on just the slightest.
Absolutely. We can't read it, so we have to study it. So I was blessed with having a father who was a scientist, and he taught me the scientific method to life.
Because you can do the same thing with words and phrases.
Which I'm
What
a
does it mean?
psycholinguist. That
Right.
I went into language, and I have 2 degrees in speech communications and TV. So I studied broadcasters and actors, and that's why I'm so good at pretending, because I studied you people like
people.
calculus. You people.
We put on our pants one leg at a time like everyone else.
But I don't, see, so I jump in them.
But I mean, I rattled off at the beginning of the show all the different.
And there's a few more
Condition-
things too. Depression, eating disorders come along with this. Attempted suicide comes along with this. Because at some point we develop a comorbid system where we try all day to be what society wants us to be, if we want a job, if we want a relationship, if we want friends. And at the end of the day, we say, gosh, we've tried all of this and we still didn't get the tenure track. I still didn't get a broadcast position. I still didn't get the favor of friends and family. What's wrong with me? Then comes the depression, the cutting, the eating disorders, the body dysmorphia, all of that piles on.
Because that happens to a lot of people too.
Well, it certainly
With time,
does.
Yeah.
But for us, should it be? We're perfectly fine. Why does this happen? Why does society not like us? Just because we're different?
Because you're making that extra effort.
Right. We're
Right.
trying so hard.
Right. So math dyslexia.
That's a learning disability that often comes with Asperger's syndrome. It's not a given. In fact, my father and most people with Asperger's syndrome are brilliant mathematicians because they understand the symbols and the linear relationship of numbers. I have math dyslexia, so I went to the language and became an artist. So we're 2 ends of the spectrum. We're either the math, physics, engineer geeks, or we're the artists and broadcasters and dramatic geeks. We're usually one or the other. I'm the cool end.
And being on the cool end early on, you did have a favorite doctor who kind of worked with you too to
Yes.
weed through some of this.
Yeah, I've always had great psychiatrists and great physicians who have helped me. And they helped me with the comorbid depression and eating disorders and that sort of thing. But the biggest thing people did for me was say, look, you see the world differently. That doesn't mean it's wrong. You're doing brilliant things with your mind in your own way, not savant things. But you have a skill set that's unique. Embrace that. Forget the math dyslexia. Forget that people don't invite you to the party. Somebody has to be working the computer at home while they're at the party, Look what your father's done. He designed airplanes that are saving lives. Let's focus on the good. And okay, you're not Miss Social Butterfly. Does that really matter to you? And you know what? It didn't.
And I have to ask, with animals, everybody loves not everybody loves
Right.
animals. Some people have allergies and whatever else
Right.
may not like certain animals. But there is something emotionally soothing about being with animals.
Temple Grandin is a scientist I turn for that, and she's a woman on the spectrum who's, everyone knows, is an Emmy Award-winning writer and person, and she's done some brilliant research into the animal-human relationship, particularly those of us who are different. I'm on the board of the eQuest Center for Therapeutic Riding in Rockford, and I have seen what horses do for children with anything from cerebral palsy to autism. It's brilliant work. I have my own equine facility in Sparta, and when I go to the barn, my horse behaves for me far differently than he does other people. My father can go to the biggest cur in the country, and that dog will sit at his feet and lick his hand. I do believe there's an animal connection. Scientists might suggest that it's because we don't socialize human way. We socialize in a different, I don't want to say animalistic way, but sort of more primal way. One of the authors in our book talks about her relationship with gorillas. There seems to be, once you take the human, what's important to social mores out of our life, there's a different kind of relationship, and it's animals that are on that nuance, that level. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a connection.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting when you walk up to a horse. And
Right.
There's this big eye, typically, right? Because it's hard to look straight on at a horse.
Right.
But there is something, and there is a reaction that takes place. Either they warm up to you or they don't.
Or they don't. My horse bucks out at my husband, but he nuzzles me. It's not because I give him food. The barn manager feeds them.
Right.
He just knows, oh, it's somebody like me.
And as you're developing as a child and you're sensing this, and this has gone on through your life, it'll be probably one of your greatest affections is to be around the horses. There's more taking place because as you get older, there's more of life coming at you.
Right.
And you talked about being with other students and the peer pressure that's involved. And right now we're hearing more stories about kids and teens with Asperger's and dealing with the bullying situation, which maybe bullying isn't the term we should be using. It doesn't really tell the full story in a lot of these cases. Did you have those confrontations?
As a child, I was really protected by neighborhood kids who had known me from the time I was 0. So I was good all the way through high school. I had issues and this and that, but they protected me. College came, and I went and I was on my own, and I had a date rape by a sheriff, and I had a molestation by a professor. I don't know that you call that bullying, but I had situations with students in my major. It was a very competitive major. We all wanted to be on TV. It was a journalism major, and I don't know if that brought out a different side in kids to compete for that #1 spot, but they set me up for failure in ways that I couldn't see coming. And so I always ended up like the least prepared, most ridiculous member of the group. And I call that bullying, the mean girls syndrome, inviting me to parties and I show up and there's really no party at that event. They're somewhere else. They forcibly kept me out of the group. I didn't see that coming, and that's when I got my taste of humanity is cruel.
You brought up the rapes here, and you do lecture, and you have a number of different series that you talk about. As you get older, is sexuality an issue for folks with
It definitely
Asperger's?
is. Canadians are researching transgender and bisexuality and Asperger's syndrome, and a crossover between neurons and understanding everything from literally understanding society to some sort of confusion in neurons. So we find out that maybe they're not really gay, they're just confused socially. In my world, it's more of the way another human can touch me, talk to me romantically, be involved with me intimately. I perceive things far differently. Touch is difficult for me. I'm not supposed to talk about this much because my husband doesn't like it, but in general I can say it does present its own unique set of variables. We try to talk to the girls on their own about this. So when you have that first talk in 3rd and 4th grade, our girls need a separate talk on everything from personal hygiene to what this really, really means to you, a different individual who is not going to enter the dating world like your typical peer would.
Is advice to stick within your own peer group, others that have the same conditions, or?
That's a really good point, and we're debating that. I think the advice is to get really frank, honest advice from a peer and a muse who can keep you and advise you maybe throughout your life.
And, you know, taking a look at all of this, you lecture, and anybody who's a parent has small children, they're watching this right now, they might be thinking, well, what are the signs? What should I be looking for? And I know that you run the gamut of advice here.
Right.
What do you?
Simple signs. I'm on staff at Brains, which is in Grand Rapids, and does a wonderful job of assessment. And some of the things we do there is everything from occupational therapy to physical therapy to formal assessment. You can look for something as small as tiptoe walking, a problem holding your pen and pencil and showing difficulties with fine finger movement, or big gross motor movement where you run into and you fall against the wall and you trip and you have lax muscles. Literal thinking, and a difficulty with saying the appropriate thing at the appropriate time. A standard example of mine is telling my grandma she was too fat so she couldn't possibly ride my bicycle because she would break it. I just meant physics. I didn't mean grandma is a bad mama. You know, from laughing when you shouldn't be laughing, crying when you shouldn't be crying, aversity to touch, startle reflex. Someone touches me from behind, I'm going to shoot the moon. I can't handle it. So everything from your physiological makeup that's a little bit off to formal developmental delays. Maybe you read far ahead of schedule, but you don't really understand what you're reading. That's the hyperlexia. Or you can't write and you're in the 9th grade and your handwriting is still horrible. To a real understanding of language, social skills, reading the nonverbals again, and understanding where you fit in society, what's appropriate and what's not. Those are the big things we look for. It starts to look like ADHD, but when you realize it's a neurological difference, it leans towards a frontal lobe deficit. I hate to use that word, but I don't know any other word to use. Then folks like Brains and myself, we come in and say, now what are we going to do with this cool kid?
At the earliest age?
At the earliest
infant age, well, how many months in do you begin to look for?
Well, you know, my parents knew from the get-go. The typical age of diagnosis is 6, Because
6 months or
that's
6 years? Okay.
Because that's when the social stuff comes up. We're all goofy when we're little. But if I saw a little bitty kid, a little 2, 3, 4-year-old, unable to position themselves in space, startling, not wanting to be held, not making eye contact, not being able to hold their attention or not being able to steer their attention away from something, walking on their tiptoes, that sort of thing, I'd take them in for an eval and at least start sensory integration in OT and PT.
Here locally, I've been to your website. You're a part of a number of different groups. For anybody seeking some advice, who do they turn to?
I would, number one, go to Brains. It's a fabulous group, and we're on the Beltline in Knapp's Corner. I would for sure call us. Beyond that, there are all kinds of groups from your local school system to help you find people to a large group of us online. I would look at Tony Atwood's work. I would certainly look at my own work, and I think that the Autism Society, the Autism Society of Michigan does great work for the big stuff, and the Aspergers Society of Michigan does a wonderful job of directing you too.
The importance of family in all of this.
Essential.
And you talked about your father and kind of how you teamed together to work this through. And your mom stayed out of the way. Did she truly stay out of the way, or did she?
No, she was the helicopter hovering. She let us do what we needed to do, but then she would come in and say, enough, you guys, okay, hold on, or who's messing with my people? She was the guard, and in my old school papers it said, father's a little different, but watch out for mom. So she had our back.
And you talked about the friends in the neighborhood.
Right.
How did you cultivate those friendships? It was just kids being kids? And they had your back, or?
Nope. You asked about my mom. This is where my mom came in. She made sure that my home was the home. We had the pool. I had the ponies. I had the horses. I had the tetherball. My house was a gym. My father was brilliant in fixing everyone's cars, motorcycles, bicycles, and helping them with math. So the kids would come over to Mr. Holliday for help with whatever, and they came to my mother for the cool mom. She made the cookies and the cakes and would take orders. What pies did the kids want? And I found out later she was paying a couple of the kids to make sure I was okay on the playground and okay around the other children. And she also had the friendship of the fire department, and they were the ones that came and got me out of the sewers I climbed in and off the roofs I climbed on. So being a small I'm from Rockford, Rockfordish neighborhood, my mother went out of her way to make sure that neighborhood knew, take care of my kid, I'll have your back.
Are you concerned that there are abuses that take place, that there are families out there where the parents don't understand what's going on?
I'm convinced of that. That's an absolute truth. And for those parents, life is very difficult, and they need support as well. It's not easy raising someone like me. My dad and my daughter and I had each other, and with my mother as our backup. But for families that don't embrace, understand, or live with this through generations like my family did, it comes across as the worst diagnosis possible. No one wants to hear their child's going to struggle. I wasn't happy when my child got her first pair of glasses at 2 years old. It's just another thing your child struggles with. So for those parents, it's essential you get support groups and help from outsiders. You can't do it alone, and why would you want to?
How is your daughter doing?
My daughter's fabulous. She's at one of the big universities here in Michigan. She is doing well. She has a sister who struggles with her own issues, but we have what we call Team Aspie, and in our home, this is a mode of pride. Steven Spielberg, Apple, what's his name? Steve Jobs, and we have big names in our group, so we take it as a point of pride. We struggle with society, but when you need somebody to get the job done, and when you need a dependable, responsible friend, we're your go-to buddy.
And it's just so fascinating how all this has turned out for the best when you talk about suicide, depression, all of these things.
But I still struggle with this, Patrick. I'm still in counseling for those very things. If I didn't keep myself in counseling pretty much my whole life, I regress. And when I regress, all of these skills that I've learned go away. I will become agoraphobic for weeks at a time. So this is making it look very easy. But again, this is a medicated on-stage personality. This shows you we can do it, but it's not easy. I can't stress that enough. It's not easy.
And you talked about this being generational. What is the the biology that's behind it? Is this something that will continue to be passed down generation to generation?
The newest research seems to think that there is a gene that's been identified, and that through every generation we think it gets a little bit stronger. Tony Attwood is famous for saying that people on the spectrum, which is what we call it, the autism spectrum, find each other and marry, and then we breed, which is what my husband and I did. He's a finance professor. Hello, that's pretty autistic-like anyway, a fascination with numbers and, you know, schemes and ritual and obsessive interest. And we bred and certainly had a child who inherited those genes. And we also think that it's also that people who nurture people marry into our group, and they still breed, and so the gene continues down the path. In the old days, we may have died. You know, we are failure to thrive children. We are children who maybe would have been put away with a disorder as a youngster. Now we intervene and we make each of us rise above and beyond the box we would have been put in the old days.
Professor Leanne Holliday-Willey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
The book is Scholars with Autism, Achieving Dreams. Again, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.